Fasten your seatbelt. We're going all the way back to 1910 when Crisco shortening was quickly becoming the hottest thing to cook with. Welcome to Help at Home, your resource for great recipes and easy learning. I'm Jim Hightower. Well, it's time to step out of our virtual time machine into 1910 when Crisco vegetable shortening was just becoming a hot commodity. And this recipe comes out of a little booklet, and Crisco was so new, they didn't even have Crisco in the title. It was something simple like a few cooking suggestions, and it had a plain white little cover and the picture of a lady cook on the front of it. I'm excited about this recipe book because the source that I got it from was the Michigan State University's online cooking resources, and there's so many great things there. But you will be able to click on a link and download the entire recipe booklet should you so desire. And also, you could search out other Crisco books, and there are plenty of other cookbooks there too. But before I get to babbling too much, grab your pen and paper. Here come the ingredients, and our recipe is for cheese balls. You will need 1/2 cup of dry breadcrumbs, 1 cup grated cheese, 1/4 teaspoon mustard, that's dry mustard, a few grains of cayenne pepper. Now, I like to use this Tony's Creole seasoning because the red pepper is a little too much for us. And if you know this, it can get hot, but not if you know how to use it. So there you go. 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1 egg. It's very simple. So don't forget, you can always print it down. But I still like to read it to you. Here we go. You have your 1/2 cup of dry breadcrumbs. Now, I'm going to do a video later on about how to make breadcrumbs from old bread or even good bread, and you can dry it out in a low oven, or even if you have a food dehydrator, you can do that and then crumble it up. Otherwise, you can use store-bought panko breadcrumbs, plain, no flavor. Then I have my 1 cup of cheese. I have my 1 egg, and I've got 1/4 of a teaspoon of dry mustard. If you've never seen that, here's what it looks like. I like people to be able to see things. You don't want to heap it up because, you know, nobody wants a big old spoonful of mustard. At least I don't. So you just beat it on the inside until it's kind of broken up. And throw that in there. Then we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is a big container. We like to use this sea salt. And so you just very carefully sprinkle that in. If you're afraid you're going to make a mistake and pour it all over, then you might do it on the side. So there's that. And then last but least, we need to mix it up. And then we'll see. I have another egg, and there's a reason for that. So, we're mixing this up, and, you know, I love old recipes. I think some of the best recipes in the world come out of the 1950 Betty Crocker Big Red Cookbook. But, very old recipes, like this one, can be a little outdated as to how ingredients might change. Our breadcrumbs might be heavier, our eggs might be smaller, our cheese might be cheesier. But see, this is fairly dry and crumbly, and you're supposed to make this into balls and fry it. So, I am putting in a second egg, and I'm not testing this on you. There's my trash over there. I have done this before, and it makes a big difference. So you just mix, push it together, and one thing I learned from Julia Child is, you know, sometimes things just need to sit for a minute to absorb. So you might give this 1 or 2 minutes. It won't be too dry or too moist from that second egg. And then you can make balls, or if you have a cookie disher, that's perfect for this. Naughty me, I forgot to put a few grains of Tony's in there. Just nice little shake, and then I'll mix that in real good. Meanwhile, we need to prepare to fry. So that I can show you and you can see me, I've got this nice induction cooktop that my parents gave me, and I'll put my pan on here. Now, I hear what you're saying. Jim, that's a small cooking pan. That's not a pan that you fry in. You're right about that. But, do you want to use a whole can of Crisco in a big square frying pan? I don't. Times are tough, inflation is high, and that means you can't buy as much at the store. So, small pan, you want to fill it up, you know, about an inch or inch and a half. It needs to be right at the top of your cheese balls, or close enough. So, let that warm up. The temperature you want is around 385, 389. I'm leaving mine at 250 for the moment, so it won't heat up too much while we're making our cheese balls. So the one thing I need to do is have an extra paper plate. When I'm doing these demonstrations, I like to cook with paper plates so you can throw them away. You don't want it, like when I take this out, you don't want to have a greasy plate that you've got, anyway. So, I'm going to scoot this up. Yes, I saw that some of you talked about my tiny kitchen in the comments. For those of you that may be millennials or younger, this is a small kitchen, but it's called a galley kitchen. It's somewhat narrow and long. So, I can't quite touch both sides, but almost. Anyway, so, this is a cookie disher. It's a 2-inch, it'd make a 2-inch cookie, but it's just perfect for this. And you just scoop it in there, scrape some of that off the edge, and plop it down. I'm telling you, these are not too expensive. I can't remember how much they are, but, I mean, not even $10, I don't think. You could get it at Walmart or who knows. If you live in the United States, you might be able to find it at the dollar store or something like that. And then, of course, there's the old standby Amazon, which is a wonderful place to shop. Just in case any of you are wondering, I am not an affiliate to anybody but myself, I guess. So, I'm not getting paid to recommend anything. I kind of like it that way, because then I can be completely honest. A disher's definitely worth having, but if you don't, then you just get some, and you're going to have to get dirty. Roll that in your hands, put it down. See? It's no big deal. I'm going to go ahead and heat that up. Now, my pan was smoking a little bit. Anyway, I turned my heat down and put that on 360. If your grease starts to smoke, it's a little too high. Now, again, here's a lesson. Put your hand as close as you can, drop it, and go away. Don't sit up here and plop it or you'll get burned. You don't want to get burned. I've been burned before. It's not nice. Now, these don't take very long at all. Really, less than a minute. You just want them, you don't want them to stick together, so that's, well, we're going to call that one done. And everybody should also have one of these handy small strainers. Look, you can reach right in, grab a couple, drop them right down. Reach in, get 3, drop them right down. Look how beautiful those are. And when you're cooking with grease, use something that won't melt. Don't use that rubber spatula. Use a wood one or use a metal one. Okay, so just carefully drop them in there and quickly. This shouldn't even take more than 5 minutes or so. I mean, it is so quick once you have your oil heated up. Write any questions you have in the comments below so I can help you if you have anything that you're wondering about. Now, I had turned that down. I had turned it down and it's slowed down. Mine goes from 360 to 390 and I really needed about 385, so I keep kind of going back and forth just to be careful. You don't want that burnt smell. And if I wasn't doing a demonstration, I would have my exhaust fan going because that hot grease smells not the favorite of everybody in the house. And that's how you do it. It's time to take the second batch out, and I wouldn't have stopped to show you, but I just wanted to remind you, in case I didn't say it in the beginning, please be sure and preheat your oil just like you would preheat an oven before cooking. You wouldn't put a cake mix into a cold oven and just turn it on, or at least I hope not. So give it about 3 to 5 minutes. It depends on how slow or how fast your stove is. You can always test it. If you've heard of the breadcrumb test, if it browns a breadcrumb in about 30 to 40 seconds, it's ready. Or if you think it's ready, you can try putting 1 cheese ball in there and see if it starts bubbling up like this. So I just wanted to remind you of that. I want everyone to have successes, not failures. And if a retired old teacher can cook, then you can too. And now comes the most important part, the taste test. Allow it to cool for at least a minute or 2. The mustard, and I'm sorry, my mouth is full, obviously. The mustard mixes with the salt and the Creole seasoning, and it's just delicious. You can even pick your favorite cheese. I did a, what was it? A Kobe Jack. If you like this recipe for fried cheese balls, courtesy of the 1910 Crisco cooking pamphlet, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe and share with your friends who like to cook or just want to learn how. Drop me a line in the comments below about any variations you make or what else you might like to see in the kitchen. Click the bell in the top right hand corner for notifications. I'm Jim Hightower, and remember, everyone needs help, even me. Enjoy and be well. Fasten your seatbelts. We're going all the way back to 1910 when Crisco vegetable oil, it wasn't oil yet. Welcome to Help at Home, your resourcer. I'm dry. I hate it. Nah, did it again. Flopper. Be sure and drop down any questions you have in the not in the description. I want everyone